Rock fans thought this era was over. They thought the stadium lights had dimmed for good, that the voices of the 70s and 80s had sung their final notes. But in 2026, something unexpected is happening.
Iron Maiden.
The legends are not retiring, they're touring. And not quietly, but loudly, globally, and in numbers nobody predicted. This is the year classic rock came back to life on the road. Across Europe, the UK, and North America, tour posters are starting to look like pages torn. Straight out of a 1985 record store wall, names that defined an entire generation are back on the schedule. Bon Jovi, Iron Maiden, Leppard, Sammy Hagar, Men at Work, and they're not doing farewell shows. They're doing full tours. For fans who grew up with cassette tapes, vinyl records, and arena concerts, 2026 feels almost unreal, because the bands they once saw in their youth are stepping back onto the same stages decades later. Bon Jovi, whose anthems once ruled MTV and radio stations worldwide, is returning to large venues after years of vocal health concerns. What many believed would be a quiet fade into retirement has turned into one of the most emotional comebacks in recent rock memory. Then there's Iron Maiden, a band that refuses to slow down, launching another massive world tour that stretches across continents. Their shows remain theatrical, loud, and sold out, proving heavy metal from the early 80s still commands modern crowds. Leppard, another giant of arena rock, continues an aggressive touring schedule, performing the same songs that once defined a generation of stadium concerts. Fans who first heard "Pour Some Sugar on Me" in high school are now bringing their children to hear it live. And perhaps even more surprising is Sammy Hagar. Now in his late 70s, the former Van Halen frontman is still on the road, adding new dates to a tour that celebrates not just his own career, but one of the most iconic chapters in rock history. Even Men at Work, the Australian hitmakers behind Down Under, are back performing across multiple countries, reminding audiences how deeply 80s rock embedded itself into global culture. This is not nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. Something else is driving this wave. Classic rock radio stations report that 80s songs are now the most played tracks on airwaves in 2025 and 2026. Streaming platforms show millions of monthly listeners still choosing songs from these decades. In other words, the audience never left. They just waited. And now, with many modern tours dominated by pop and electronic acts, rock fans are hungry again for real guitars, real drums, and the voices that once shook stadium roofs. Promoters see it. Ticket sales prove it. Festivals are stacking their lineups with legacy acts because they know these names still draw massive crowds. For the artists, this isn't just another paycheck. For many of them, this feels like unfinished business, a chance to stand on stage again while they still can, a chance to hear tens of thousands of people sing lyrics that were written 40 years ago, word for word. There's something deeply emotional happening at these concerts. Fans aren't just watching a performance. They're reliving their youth, and the bands can feel it. You can see it in interviews, in stage banter, in the way these legends talk about touring now. There's more gratitude, more reflection, more awareness that this chapter is precious. What makes 2026 historic is not just that these bands are touring, it's that so many of them are doing it at the same time. It feels like a reunion of an entire era. The golden age of arena rock has stepped out of memory and back into reality. You could travel across Europe this year and attend multiple concerts by artists whose posters once hung on teenage bedroom walls in the 1980s. This isn't a farewell tour culture. This is a resurrection. For fans of classic rock, 2026 is not just another year on the calendar. It's a rare moment when time seems to bend. When the past walks back onto the stage, plugs in a guitar, and proves that the spirit of rock never really ages. The lights go down, the crowd roars, and for a few hours it's 1985 all over again. Only this time, everyone in the arena knows just how special it is.